Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome into Miami Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Nic Rohloff. Hopefully, everybody's Tuesday afternoon is going well. I am excited to be live here with all of you. We have a lot to talk about, especially after the Miami Dolphins made a signing last night. Yes, if you have not heard, I don't know how if you haven't. The Dolphins signed safety Marcus Maye to add to this Dolphins depth chart. We broke it in depth on the video last night, but we're going to talk more about it today, what it means for the future of this offseason surrounding the Miami Dolphins, and have a lot of fun as well. So get the party started by shouting out your city for me as we welcome in Jack Lotteray. Let me know where y'all are watching from. It looks like people are fired up for today's show. I'm excited for today's show. I'm excited to talk some Fins football as we just continue to count down these weeks until, well, we can break down real football being played and not hypotheticals. Gavin Powell watching in Palm City, Ty Man in Ohio, LJC in Orlando. Jack says South Florida, brother. And he also says, how about those Panthers? How about those Florida Panthers? Indeed, 2-0 in the NHL Finals. A championship might be finally coming to South Florida, but unfortunately, one is also going to be going to Boston in all likelihood, unless Dallas can come back. We got Bill saying Cuse in the house. Lamar in Stamford, Connecticut. Hohenwald, Tennessee from Kelly. I think that's how you say it. I'll be in Tennessee this weekend. I'm going to Nashville to visit a friend from college. I'm pumped up for that. Franklin's in the Bahamas, George in Delaware, Dave in South Africa, Bruce in Oregon, Cortland, New York from Ralph. Cortland, New York, just 3 hours from where I grew up in Rochester, New York. We got North Miami Beach from Eddie E., Blue Ridge, Virginia from Tim B., Liberty City. Let's go. We got people all over the country today and outside the country as well, fired up for that. Also fired up for Marcus Maye, the newest Miami Dolphin. Well, actually, technically not the newest, Jack. You want to know why it's not the newest Dolphin? Yes, they did. They finally signed Patrick Paul, the second-round pick, who they took out of Houston, to his rookie contract. Chop Robinson is the only rookie that the Dolphins drafted that has not signed his deal. So even though Patrick Paul was already going through OTAs, minicamp, and rookie minicamp, he just technically wasn't under contract, but now he is. But either way, Marcus Maye fired up for him to be in the safety room, backing up Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer. We knew they were going to add a third safety. We knew it was going to happen. Was it going to be inside their own building, moving Nick Needham to that third safety spot? Or like we often projected, they were going to sign someone. We hoped it was going to be Justin Simmons from Denver, but they went with a cheaper option, Marcus Maye, who has had a lot of experience with the Jets and the Saints. So grade that signing for me down in the comments section. I realized I never really gave it my official grade last night. I did endorse it. I liked it, but I never gave it actual grade. I would go B-. I go B-. Listen, it's a depth piece. It's not like he's going to play some pivotal role for this Dolphins defense in 24. And if he is playing a pivotal role for Miami in this upcoming season, that probably means one of Jordan Poyer or Javon Holland got hurt, and we obviously don't want that. So B- just for depth. LJC says B, is he good? I don't know. We'll talk about him a little bit in depth. We got he's had a lengthy career in the NFL, that is for sure. 7 seasons, 5 with New York, 2 with New Orleans. Last 2, he has not got a lot of playing time due to injuries, a couple ACLs. He borderline might be cooked, but like I said, when you have to just be that third safety, there's really not like any downside of bringing him in to the building. JK's the entertainer saying 305 to crib. I assume that's where you're watching from. Gavin says, is Marcus Maye going to be on the bench? Yeah, like I said, he's going to be the third safety. He just adds more depth to this room. Javon Holland and Poyer will still be your top 2 guys, and then you'll have coming off the bench Elijah Campbell, Marcus Maye. I don't know if they'll keep 5 safeties. I likely will only keep 4, but they'll have UDFAs or rookies, Patrick McMorris, Mark Perry, Colbert, potentially being that extra safety they have on the practice squad if they need to call anyone up for weekend games. But yeah, Maye is going to slot in as that third guy, Campbell as that fourth. Tim B is grading this a B. That checks out. Tim B with a B. Continue to let me know what your thoughts on Marcus Maye are down below. Our Super Chat menu today. Any Super Chat will be featured on the show. We're going to run it back like we did last week. $10 is 5 push-ups. Y'all seem to like that. Forced me to do some push-ups. You guys clowned me too. Said I didn't get down all the way to the ground, which is just an absolute farce, by the way. I have elite push-up form. Because if you're going to do a push-up, you might as well do it correctly. So $10 equals 5. $20, we'll do some shots. I got that 1800 tequila in the house with me again. And then, like last week, we had an induction into the Aqua Club / Hall of Fame. Chad Jones, the 4th member, alongside Tim B., Sherry May, and Kristen Reinhardt. Those are the 4 Hall of Famers, Aqua Club members. $50 will get you into the Hall of Fame. You'll be memorialized for eternity here at Dolphins Today, as well as we'll take down a beer bong of Happy Dad. So if we want to have a party, we can have a party on a Tuesday afternoon. And last week, we had a lot of fun. We had $105 in Super Chats last week. I just want to know if we could top it. I always say I want to get 1% better every single week, and I try to attack that in everything I do in life, and I want to see if y'all with me. Let's get better than we did last week. $105. Can we top it? I believe we can. I got faith in the Dolphins fans, Dolphins Today group. We'll see if we can do it throughout the show. Here's a question that I think is interesting because we're going to talk about some free agent targets for the Miami Dolphins after they sign Marcus Maye, because I don't think Chris Grier is done adding to this roster, as there's still a lot of good free agents the Dolphins could sign on one-year deals to help bolster this roster. One of them being the former Dolphin Connor Williams, who started at center the past 1.5 years prior to tearing his ACL back in that November game against the Tennessee Titans. If he is still available come August or early September, would you bring back Connor Williams? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Bill Lyon says yes. LJ says no. Jimmy says, how can this not be an A? He was a franchise player. Come on, people. I think assuming talking about Marcus Maye. I mean, he's 31. He's a little bit older. He was very good in the past for the Jets, but a little bit of a different Marcus Maye you're getting now than the one that you might have been remembering playing Miami for the Jets 2 years, or 2 times a year, I should say. Sam says no for sure. So we got 2 people saying no. Bill saying yes. Kelly K says put a fork in Connor Williams. Turtle Beans, what an intriguing name, says shout me out. There you go. John Fritz says, so who is on the practice squad currently? No one. Practice squad is only a thing during the NFL season because right now you're allowed to have 90 people on the roster. The Dolphins actually technically have 91 because you are also allowed 1 international pathway player that does not count against your roster. So they have 91 people. That international guy is Byron Matos, the UDFA from South Florida, who's transitioning from football from basketball to football, So they have 91, and when they make the Marcus Maye signing official, because he has not put pen to paper yet, they will have to release someone. They have not made any indications of who that will be from this 90-man roster right now. We'll keep you updated on when that actually happens. But yeah, they have 91 people on the roster, no practice squad. The practice squad only comes into play when they cut down to 53 people on the roster before the season begins. Luis says yes. Cedric says yes. Turtle Bean says Calais Campbell. We'll talk Calais Campbell a little bit. Vincent says no. Tim B says no. Jimmy says bring back Connor if nothing else for a backup. For nothing else. If he's cheap, why not? Why not? Continue to get your votes in down below, but we got to get this like number up, man. We got to get the like number up. Do you love the Dolphins? If you're watching this live show, I'm pretty sure you like the Miami Dolphins a lot. We have 84 people watching, 27 people liking. Jack's telling me we need to get, what did you say?
40
50%. Likes. I was going to say, I was going to even go more aggressive and say 42.
Okay,
add
42.
2 more people.
For
get
Jackie
42
Robinson.
likes.
Jackie Robinson, 42.
Jackie Robinson, 42. I don't hate that. We are 6 likes away from that. And when we get to 42 likes, we can get started with today's show. 6 people need to like it. 80 people watching. Should be an absolute breeze. I trust Dolphins fans, and I know you guys love the Fins, so show me by hitting that thumbs up icon. Now just 2 away. And when we do hit that number, we can get started on a very fun show today. We are doing 4 segments. I teased it last week on our live show, and I'm not lying to you. We're going to bring back 4 going forward. Just couldn't do 4 the past couple weeks because it's hard to plan ahead when we got so much news happening with minicamp and stuff like that. But on today's show, Marcus Maye, he signs. What are the latest news and rumors surrounding the Miami Dolphins after that? An updated free agent target list for the Dolphins after signing Marcus Maye. A live Q&A where we answer your questions surrounding the Miami Dolphins. And then to wrap up today's show, are there major changes happening to the starting lineup? A lot of additions, a lot of losses from last season. What does a lineup look like? What will Mike McDaniel go with when we approach the first game of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars? But before we jump into it, we got a $5 super chat from Tim B. Hashtag need to sign GVR, a.k.a. Greg Van Roten, the number 1 free agent target for me, which we'll talk more in depth in the show later on. But I'm a big fan of Greg Van Roten. I've been on that train for a long time. I'm with you, Tim B. Appreciate you for the $5 super chat. And even though it wasn't $10, you know what? After this first segment, I'll do 5 push-ups still for you, Tim B., because you're an absolute legend. But with that being said, let's get into our first segment of the day. Oh, hold on, folks. We almost did an oopsie. I don't know what the oopsie almost was. Yeah, it's always tough. You know, Ray almost made an oopsie, but he's an experienced producer. He knows how to do it around here. All right, let's do it. Loaded rundown here at Dolphins Today. The Dolphins signed Marcus Maye in free agency last night. What can be next? Is it going to be Greg Van Roten, the offensive lineman that is still out there in free agency? Latest Tua Tagovailoa extension rumors. Is there something new there? There's something developing, but it might not be surrounding Tua. And lastly, to close out today's show, Nick Needham. Is he going back to corner? Did he ever leave corner? But maybe not trying to go to the safety position like we initially thought this offseason. But make sure you do have your notifications turned on, which you also have to be subscribed to have your noties turned on. But you need to have them on in case breaking news happens, like it did late last night. It happened around 9:15 Eastern Time. Dolphins signed Marcus Maye. You might have not known that if you didn't have your notifications turned on. So when you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click that bell icon, have it turned on for all, not just personalized, so you never miss a video surrounding the Dolphins. 15.1% currently have it turned on, 8.6 thousand. Let's get that number up. All right, let's talk about Greg Van Roten now, because I truly do believe that the Miami Dolphins need to sign Van Roten after they make the signing of Marcus Maye. It is the biggest need for the Miami Dolphins. And if you remember, when I started doing shows on this channel full-time in the last week of April, right before the draft, I mentioned team needs that I think the Dolphins need to address. And then after the draft, I had, well, what are the team needs for Miami post-NFL draft? In order, this is what they were. Number 1, right guard. Number 2, a third safety. And number 3, another defensive tackle / lineman to help Zach Sealer. Well, bingo, we got number 2 last night in that third safety in Marcus Maye. So now the 2 biggest needs that remain are right guard and defensive tackle. And I've been saying this for quite some time now, and I'm going to continue to say it until I can't do it anymore. Greg Van Roten is the best right guard available who could come into the building and be your starter from day one right away. He's been a journeyman offensive lineman, but he was absolutely fantastic for the Raiders in 2023. Career high numbers if you just look at PFF. Only allowed 5 sacks and put up good numbers according to Pro Football Focus. 75 overall, 77 pass block, 68 run block. By the way, those numbers rank top 10 on for interior offensive linemen in terms of pass blocking. And 0 penalties is something I could always get behind. And when you look at this offensive line, like, it's so clear that there is a wolf in sheep's clothing, I will say here. You like your 2 tackles, Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson. I like Brewer coming in from Tennessee to be your starting center to replace Connor Williams. Wynn is fine when healthy, but Robert Jones here, like, are we trusting that? I don't think we are. Jack Driscoll, Liam Eichenberg, Lester Cotton, are they going to end up taking the job? I doubt that as well. So, to me, the need for right guard just continues to be there, and I get it. There is no such thing as a perfect roster. You're not going to be able to have someone that you feel comfortable with at every single position on the football field. But if you sign Greg Van Roten, it will be pretty darn close to having every position across the board, all 22 starters, at least giving me a feeling of comfortability going into the season before like an injury happens or something like that. Tua's blind side, that right side, just remember that too, because he's a lefty. Van Roten feels like that needs to be the signing. I just don't trust what Miami is now. Like I kind of mentioned, I'm skeptical of Robert Jones. They're all trying to replace Robert Hunt, who was absolutely phenomenal for Miami before he signed a 5-year, $100 million deal with the Carolina Panthers in free agency. Maybe Jack Driscoll could be a sleeper at right guard after coming over from the Eagles in free agency. I just don't think what the Heat or the Dolphins have right now is sufficient to be above average in the National Football League, which is why I'd like to add it Greg Van Roten. So you make the call for me. Do the Dolphins need to sign a right guard? I believe they do, and if you believe my spiel I just went on, type Y for yes. If you disagree with me and are fine leaving that roster spot vacated, if you will, type N for no. All right, let's transition into some Tua Tagovailoa contract extension rumors. And, well, I do want to preface by saying this first, though. There really is nothing new with Tua. After minicamp ended last week, there hasn't been any new reports or negotiations between Tua, Chris Grier, and this team. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is a little report from Pretty Ricky. And if you don't know who Pretty Ricky is, it is, I can't say the most reliable insider, but he has had quite a lot of scoops ever since free agency and the NFL draft. So I start to believe what he says. And he tweeted out this morning that I'm hearing things are heating up in Duval and the Jags are ready to spend some of Khan's money. What does that mean? Well, that probably means a Trevor Lawrence extension could be coming rather soon. And why is that important in terms of Tua and the Dolphins? Well, a Trevor Lawrence extension will likely dictate what Tua Tagovailoa gets and wants. Like, whatever Lawrence money come in, and if this happens in the next couple of days and we see the guaranteed, the years, the overall value on an annual average basis as well, Tua's likely going to want that same exact deal, if not more. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But make sure you get started with Mando. And I appreciate Mando for sponsoring today's video because they make sure I am smelling nice and clean. And spring into the summer with deodorant that can handle the heat. Mando is clinically proven to work hard all day. Instead of covering up BO with heavy fragrances, Mando stops odor at the source, stopping the stink from happening in the first place. Created by a doctor, Mando whole body deodorant is powerful enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough to use everywhere, allowing you to put Mando on the family jewels without any worry. Mando Starter Pack is the perfect thing for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, as well as free shipping. My personal favorite is the Mount Fuji. I actually have it on right now. Producer Jack Latteray, he can attest I smell pretty dang good. And like I said, bourbon leather here. This is this terrific body wash. It comes with so many different things to make sure you're smelling great all the time. And luckily for you, I have a discount code to help you get hooked up on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. What is that code? Code CHAT. So go to shopmando.com, shopmando.com, code CHAT, CHAT, to get that $5 off, aka 40% off that starter pack. Shout out to Mando for sponsoring today's video. All right, let's get back to Trevor Lawrence and Tua, because when you think about these two players, they are eerily similar, man. Like, it really is crazy how they have put up basically the same numbers over the past 2 seasons. Tua has played in 3 less games than Trevor Lawrence, but has put up more yards, more touchdowns, the same amount of interceptions, and has put up the better quarterback rating. So the only number Tua lacks in is interceptions, because he's throwing a little bit more. I don't know why my brain just went on a complete hiatus there. So you're telling me, and I get it, Tua has better weapons to throw to, but he's been more successful over the past 2 years. So if I'm Tagovailoa and I see what Trevor Lawrence gets from the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to want more. I just am going to want more. It's natural human instinct to want to top your other friends and competitors to get more money, but he also probably deserves it because he's had a little bit more success. Like, Trevor Lawrence, yes, he did win a playoff game, but, like, he was kind of sketchy last year. Like, he wasn't that good. And I think I blame Justin Herbert in that monumental collapse by Los Angeles more than I trust Trevor Lawrence from getting that comeback. And we've shown this number on the channel a couple times, but what could a Tua contract extension look like? I think this is what Tua deserves, and this is what I'd be comfortable paying him. 4 years, $220 million total, $55 million on an annual average salary with $180 million guaranteed. I am completely fine giving Tua this contract, which is why I'm skeptical of if Trevor Lawrence gets a contract extension done first and he gets this, well, then Tua might want more. So to me, if I'm Chris Grier and Tua, I want to come together and get this done in the next week so we can move forward in this offseason knowing we have our future quarterback locked in of the next 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 seasons. So let me know, would you give Tua this deal? If you're with me in my projection and you want it, type G for give. Or if you're saying, well, that might be too much, I don't want to give Tua that, type W for wouldn't. Let me know your thoughts down below. All right, let's head back to Marcus Maye now. Jordan Schultz had the initial breaking news report yesterday. I wanted to share this quick note and then talk about what this means for Nick Needham. But it's very intriguing to me because look at this part right here. Maye had multiple teams interested, but loves the roster in Miami and wants to be a part of a Super Bowl contender, which he believes Miami has. So it makes me quite happy that Marcus Maye had other suitors and chose Miami over him. Similar to Odell Beckham Jr., who could have went to the Chiefs or the Bills, and nope, he wanted to come to Miami because he likes the roster that we have in place here. But either way, when we talk about what this means for the Dolphins' depth chart and defense, this is where things stand currently in the safety room. Javon Howard and Poyer, your dynamic duo. Poyer coming from Buffalo. I'm excited to see how these two work together. I'd slot in Marcus Maye as that strong safety type. He's played both free safety and strong safety in his career, so I'd put him behind Poyer. Patrick McMorris, the 6th-round rookie, is also in that room, and then you have Elijah Campbell and Colbert in the free safety room, but don't forget about the UDFA out of TCU, Mark Perry, who is vying for this roster. But what this signing of Marcus Maye tells me is Chris Grier and the Dolphins, they know and knew they needed more depth at this position. They did, and there was a lot of buzz through OTAs and minicamp that they were going to try to have Nick Needham transition from corner to safety and be that 3rd or 4th guy potentially. Maybe they just didn't feel comfortable with Nick Needham doing that, and they wanted to see how it would go in the first couple weeks of the offseason, and they didn't like it. So like, all right, we'll go add another guy. But this does also help the Dolphins because he will stay at corner and give more depth there. But Maye is someone who has a tons of experience, right? 77 games through his career, 7 seasons, has missed a lot of time over the past couple of years in New Orleans, only playing about 15 or 16 games total, but he was a rock for the Jets in his first 5 years of his career, and this is where he put up most of his numbers. He's a ball hawk, 8 interceptions, 28 PBUs, not afraid to get dirty and make some tackles. Maye on the plus side of 30. Hopefully he can stay healthy for the Fins, but if he does, he'll be a very solid 3rd safety. And it's not going to be flashy, right? The flashy signing would have been Justin Simmons. We didn't go flashy. And to be honest, even though I want Justin Simmons, it probably makes sense to not go that route because he would have wanted more playing time and wanted more money. Like, this Maye deal is probably very, very cheap and very close to the vet min. So it doesn't cost you that much in cap space. It's just a solid depth piece that can really give you insurance behind Holland and Poyer. I like the move. I graded it about a B-, but you can grade it for me down below as well. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel because, as we said off the top, we dropped the video 15 minutes. That's pretty quick, folks, after the Dolphins made the signing official. So that is why you subscribe, so you never miss a thing surrounding the Fins. I'll see you with a video tomorrow. Go Fins. Oh, all righty. First segment down. See, Chad Jones is in the building. What's up, Chad? What's up, Chad? David Storm in the building, too. What's up, David? Chad Jones is on his disgust. I wouldn't say disgust, but like he's not. He just isn't in on Tua. He doesn't want to pay him. Just feels like that. Same with David too. Ryan says, Nick, if you had to pick, would you take GVR or Calais Campbell? Ooh, that's a good question, Ryan. I think I probably lean Greg Van Roten. But we'll talk about 2 free agents coming up in just a second. We'll talk about that. Appreciate that nice comment, David. By the way, I've seen some comments down below, and this won't be answered to everybody, but some people who are in the live chat will get to see this and get the answer. There are some comments, Jack, that always pop up and says, you are the host of Dolphins Today. Why are you not wearing Dolphins gear? Well, this is why I can't wear Dolphins gear, guys. I have shirts. I told you about the Dolphins t-shirt combo I got. I wore the quarter zip last week for a live show. Look at this. See, like, it might be hard to tell, but look at this. You can see through the aqua of this shirt. I was going to wear this shirt. It's mine. I have it. But I can't because you can see the little background because somehow this Dolphins aqua, which is not even close to the same green screen that we have. It's not even close, folks. But it still comes through, and I can't wear it because you'll see this. Like, you can see it, but you can see how it looks a little odd. You could see the today in there. Like, you can. I can't wear it's terrible. It sucks that the Dolphins colors mix in with the green screen. But that's just for all the people out there that say, I need to be wearing more Dolphin stuff. Well, I really can't do it because it doesn't work with our green screen. I'm still hoping to find some gear that I can wear. I think Jack's hat blends in. He's going to come test this. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. You can't, like, it sucks. It blows. It absolutely stinks. I'm hoping to find something that I can wear that doesn't have any aqua, but that's the issue. Like the main logo has the aqua in it, so it's always gonna have an issue. White shirts, white shirts, Dolphins logo. Maybe we'll give that a chance one time. Black shirt, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the quarter zip was fine. It was doable last week. Quarter zip worked, but that shirt no.
So here's the thing. Here's the issue. I'll come on screen as well, so we can talk. We can converse because this was a conversation we had before the stream. I think the issue is you have it right here.
Yeah.
So when you move, when you're right behind the Dolphins Today, that's where the Today is on the chroma. Yeah, so it's like if you have a logo off to the side here, you're not going to notice because you're not going in front of the Dolphins Today. But if you got the big square here, you're going to get part of that in the green screen.
Yeah, that little spiel was just for the people that say, I need to wear more Dolphins gear. I mean, there's just, like, I'd love to, but I just showed you that some things I can't wear. Also, I have other obligations here at Chat Sports with other channels that I can't really just be wearing Dolphins gear on those channels. Oh, we will be strapped. Don't you worry. Every Sunday, we will be locked and loaded with a nice little Dolphins fit, ready to go. Be ready to go. Sparker.
Chad, that's part of my job, yeah. Chad. I got to be looking out for the overall look and making sure that he's not wearing something that's green screening.
Sparker says, yo, bro, I have a question. Good news, Sparker. Yes. David, I tried to get this shirt. I was planning on wearing the shirt and didn't care about the see-through, but Lotteray X made that.
Look,
which is probably the right thing to do.
I would have loved for you to be able to wear the Dolphins shirt today, but that's just not a good. It's not a good look, You just can't. You can't be doing the see-through.
All right, I'm gonna do those 5 push-ups real quick. I don't think you have to show this one just because I'm actually technically doing it on a discount. Oh, but like I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. Doing the kindness out of my heart. Oh, Christ Almighty! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't wait for the comments to tell me, that I didn't do them right. But it is what it is. I did nice push-ups there. I saw a little clip there. Got it. W's in the chat. We can showcase our super chat menu before we get into our next segment, which is updated Dolphins free agent targets after signing Marcus Maye. Any super chat gets featured on the show. We mentioned the mailbag. If you want to lock in a question in the mailbag, we will 100% get it there. $10 is 5 push-ups. $20 is a shot. $50 gets you into the Dolphins Aqua Club / Hall of Fame, and we'll also chug a beer to celebrate. That's the way we do it around here. We got 4 people in here. We got Tim B, Kristen Reinhart, Sherry May, and Chad Jones. Oh, Timmy B! Here's another $5 for the push-ups. The helmet still be... Sure.
Like I said when we started, I think this is at least my thought, this should be an off-season helmet. So then right before the season starts, we should raffle it off. That's at least my thought. And then we have a new Hall of Fame helmet, ball, whatever, once the season starts.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I like that, but let me know your thoughts. This helmet is with us for the next 8 weeks, 9 weeks. I think we carry it through preseason too, though. Okay, yeah. And then we'll have a new Hall of Fame item for the entire 2024 season, starting week 1 against Jacksonville. Hey, yeah, Kristen Reinhardt's in the building. What's up? What's up? Yeah, no, that makes sense though because they should have different because it's like if you win the raffle for the Hall of Fame item at the end, first of all, you're a 2024 Hall of Famer if you get into the item that we'll have. But then when you win it, you're like, oh dang, I got the 2024 item. Like when we raffle this off and have hopefully more names on it, it'll be like you have the 2024 off season when we had a shift in hosts. How about that? Yeah, Chad, week 1 before game. Read my mind, Chad. You're reading my mind. All right. We're going to get into our next segment here. Kristen, don't have to apologize. I just appreciate you checking in at all. Sparker says, can you answer my question? What did Sparker say? I did not, but I can answer this one because it really wouldn't have made the mailbag anyway. I was thinking of becoming a Dolphins fan because I recently became a fan of the Heat and Marlins, but I'm also a Rams fan. So what should I do? Should I like both? Let me know, please. Sparker, answer. Dolphins. Better team. More fun. They don't have a channel here at Chat Sports. We do. And me and you, Sparker, can become best friends. Why can we become best friends? Because you said you're also a Heat fan. And we also have a Miami Heat channel at Chat Sports, which I host. So go subscribe to the Heat Report. And we could just hang out all the time, Sparker. So you're getting a lifelong friend on YouTube as well in Nic Rohloff. How about that? Sounds like a good deal to me. Sounds like a good deal to me. Sparker says, yes, I watch the Heat ones, and I'm already subscribed. Then what? Then, yeah, come be a fan over here, man. We got it going on. We're having a good time over here in Miami Dolphins land. We're having a lot of good times. All right. Let's do this, Jack. Let's do this. Second segment, free agent targets after signing Marcus Maye. Fix the hair. And we're back. All right, let's do this. Today's show, Dolphins fans, who can this man right here? You see that little grin? I see it. Chris Grier. Who could he sign to the Dolphins roster after they added Marcus Maye a couple days ago? I got 5 free agent targets in this video that we'll touch on. All right, I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am excited to talk about some updated free agent targets list because one team need is gone. You no longer need a safety. That took up about 30% of our free agent targets we've always talked about. But who are the top 5 guys I think the Dolphins could sign this offseason still to really upgrade this roster? But before I give you my 5 names, let me hear your top name. Who is your top free agent that you want Chris Grier and this Dolphins front office to add before we get underway in training camp and in the regular season? Drop a name for me down below. I think it's important to look at where the Dolphins are in cap space-wise, though. And this is a rough estimation. They currently, if you were to look it up, is about $18.8 million. But after the May signing, they signed Patrick Paul a couple days ago as well, finally, to his rookie deal. And hopefully when they get Chop Robinson locked up relatively soon, you'll have probably around $9 million in free agency money to spend. So there is enough out there to go get another guy on $3-4 million, which would still allow you to have $5 million in cap space entering the season, just in case of an injury. The blueprint is there to add probably one more solid piece to this Dolphins roster. So let's see who it could be. Number 1, and it will always be number 1, is Greg Van Roten, the offensive guard, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders and Carolina Panthers. I will absolutely die on this hill that he is the top guy Grier should go out and get. I have just been so skeptical of this right guard spot of the Miami Dolphins. I like what you have everywhere else besides right guard. They're trying to replace Robert Hunt. It's going to be a tough person to replace because of how solid he was for Miami a year ago. Robert Jones, Jack Driscoll, Liam Eichenberg, and Lester Cotton are the 4 guys trying to do that and vie for that starting spot. But I just don't really believe they're going to be able to do it at a sufficient enough level, which is why bringing in Van Roten, who played 17 games for the Raiders last year, put up a career high in pass blocking grade, which ranked top 10 amongst interior offensive linemen, has also played right guard for most of his career. To me, Greg Van Roten just completes this Dolphins roster. And sure, there would still be question marks about defensive line and who could be paired up with Zach Sealer, but that is one that is kind of a secondary need. You do need a right guard and a starting one. Unless you truly believe one of the 4 guys I mentioned already on this depth chart that can do it, I don't know if they can. I'd go Greg Van Roten free agency. Probably only cost you $3 million. Just kind of like a similar to OBJ type deal. Yeah, makes a lot of sense to me. Chris Grier, let's get it done. Number 2, we will head to that defensive line area and go with Calais Campbell, the 37, 38-year-old that is still just doing big things in the National Football League. And to me, Calais Campbell gives you the best of both worlds if you're trying to upgrade this defensive line, because we know they need someone along Zach Sealer to help him stop the run on the interior. But there is also some question marks at the edge position. Is Jalen Phillips, is Bradley Chubb going to be ready to go for week 1 against Jacksonville? I'm not sure. What Campbell does is he gives you the ability to play him inside, play him outside. He can rush the passer and get 6.5 sacks and 17 QB hits. He can also stuff the interior and have 10 TFLs and really be a dominant force in the run defense part of your defense. I love it. I know he's old, but he's still got a lot left to give. And if he wants to play for a contending team, well, then Miami makes a lot of sense for him because he would get a lot of PT. He would be able to have a large role on a team trying to contend for a Super Bowl. Campbell can do it all. I like what he brings to the table, and I know that he is on the older side, folks, but it does not matter. It'd be a 1-year deal. It'd be a cheap deal, and the versatility that he gives you is so enticing to me to be able to play him alongside Zach Sealer against the run on the interior, but also bump him outside if absolutely necessary. You don't feel comfortable playing Chop, Mohamed Kamara, Shaq Barrett, or if one of them gets hurt, you have the depth and insurance of Calais Campbell. We mentioned the signing of Marcus Maye from the Miami Dolphins. We brought you a video right away, and I mean right away. 15 minutes after the news dropped, we had something on the channel. If the Dolphins make another signing, we'll make another video, so make sure you hit that sub button. How about Connor Williams? Could you bring him back to the Miami Dolphins roster. It's an intriguing thing that we can talk about here. I'd love to bring Connor Williams back to this team. And I know some people are going to be skeptical of that after he tore his ACL last year on Monday Night Football. But Williams just was so solid for the Dolphins blocking-wise, and there's still a need at right guard. You signed Aaron Brewer to be your replacement at center, and that's fine. But Williams, before he came to Miami and was a center, he played offensive guard. So I truly do believe he would be able to do that. He's going to take some while and time to get back and get that knee perfectly healthy, but you can stash him on your bench, let the other people play, and when Connor Williams is ready to go in the middle of the season, you can fortify this offensive line. And he would be one of the better guys that you could fortify this line with. Like, there's always been the questions with Connor Williams on how well he is as a center because he's inconsistent with his snapping, right? But as a pure blocker, he's terrific. One of the best run blocking guys in the entire NFL, putting up back-to-back seasons of 85-plus grade. Also had back-to-back years of 78-plus grade overall. Doesn't give a lot of sacks. The penalties are a question at times, but he is one of the better interior offensive linemen in the NFL when completely healthy, and I can see the Dolphins bringing him back. I really can. Like, if Chris Grier analyzes this roster during the preseason, during training camp, what he's already saw in minicamp, and says, hey, like, we're optimistic about these right guard replacements and what they can do as a committee, but I'd like to have a real top guy kind of in my chamber if need be, well, then sign Connor Williams to a one-year deal, prove-it deal that will allow him to get cashing in or to cash in next offseason as well if he comes back and plays well. And then week 6, week 8 during the NFL season, if your right guard spot is still an issue, well, there's Connor Williams coming off the bench ready to go from injury. I could see it happening, and I'm kind of all in on the idea. So would you bring back Connor Williams? Make the call for me. Be Chris Grier. Would you bring back Connor Williams in free agency? Type Y for yes or type N for no. How about Emmanuel Ogbah, the edge for the Miami Dolphins just a year ago? Could he return to the 305? He's still currently a free agent, and he spent the last 4 seasons of his career in Miami. So there's some familiarity there, and he's had some good success for the Dolphins as well. Like, he had a one-down season, but his first 2 years in Miami, he was fantastic. 42, 41 tackles, 9 sacks apiece as well. Ogbah was one of the better edge rushers on this Dolphins team, and then really just took a turn for worse in 22 due to missing some time and wasn't really able to gain his full roll back and dominant performance in 2023. But you might ask yourself, well, why is Ogbah on this list, and why would you sign an edge? You have Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Shaq Barrett. You drafted 2 guys in Mo Kamara and Chop Robinson, right? Well, if you don't like where Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are in their recovery, as they're recovering from 2 significant injuries, well, then why wouldn't you get more depth? Then maybe you just don't feel comfortable having your edge rotation being a Shaq Barrett, Chop Robinson, and Mo Kamara right off the bat. And you want to bring in Ogbah to at least get you off the ground. Like, the depth will never be something I get upset about. The insurance will be good, and Ogbah could still be a good rotation piece if Chris Grier deems it necessary to add one. Last free agent target we're going to talk about here is Mark Lewinsky, the offensive lineman, another right guard, who did not have his best year in 2023, but has had some good years in the past. Like, he had 2 solid seasons in Indianapolis just 3 and 4 years ago, and then signed with the Giants and was spotty, and then kind of got his starting spot taken in 2023, but he was good in Indy. A right guard as well, so he fits that exact team need that you have. More of a run blocking guy than a pass blocking type guard, and when you watch his film, he is a bruiser, man. He plays with some ferocity, man. Like, you watch it, and sometimes he just wants to beat the living crap out of these linebackers and secondary members. When he gets to the second level and really starts to move up that chain of the defense, he just looks to start pounding people, dude. I'm being dead serious. He would be someone that would be probably same price range as Van Roten, but he would also be someone that you're not guaranteeing that starting right guard spot too. He'd likely have to compete to earn that starting job, but could be someone I would be all in on adding due to the fact he could be making this a more competitive fight for that right guard spot. We talked about 2 right guards in our 5 free agent target list. Pick one for me. Number 1 guy I'd sign is GVR, so I'm typing my GVRs for Greg Van Roten. But maybe you are a Mark Lewinsky guy. If you are, type those MGs. You can continue the conversation over on my Twitter, by the way. At Nic_Rohloff is the handle. You would have heard about the Marcus Maye signing first on my Twitter, and then we made a video about it. Same thing goes for any of these guys. If they make a signing, I'll have the news first on my Twitter, and then we'll make a show on YouTube. So if you want to stay informed to the best of your ability, follow me at Nic_Rohloff. Brian Aycock with a $5 super chat. What's up, Brian? Says we need O-line help first and foremost. I agree. It's my number 1 need. And for the Dolphins, and I continue to put Greg Van Roten as my number 1 free agent target. And hopefully they get that done, man. It'd be unlikely, but it's hard to say they're going to do it because obviously a lot of teams are going to want Greg Van Roten and his services because he is the best interior offensive lineman available. But I would just try to get that done as soon as possible, man. I would try to do it as soon as possible. See a couple people saying yes on Agba, yes on Connor Williams. David says we do if we can get them for cheap. Michael says if we don't use Tyndall, why not trade the guy? I don't hate that. Yeah, Michael, we're about to do a mailbag here live on the channel. If you want to be featured on Dolphins Today and this mailbag, use hashtag Dolphins, or you can send a super chat. I feel like we've had some good questions come in now. No, I feel like I've seen some hashtag Dolphins come in. Use hashtag Dolphins, folks. We need more questions, is what producer Lotta Ray's telling me. Tim B, you put hashtag what? You got to use hashtag Dolphins. Now, Tim B does have a super chat that will be featured. So that will work. But we want more questions. I want to get to everybody here on Dolphins Today. So you either super chat or use hashtag Dolphins. David, good question. You can use hashtag Dolphins, David. David, I like that question because that's a different question of what he deserves. What is he worth? But I want to show it. Appreciate that, Michael. Def fan of your show. Your passion if had flow on CC. Am I missing something here? Def fan of your show. Your passion if had flow on CC. Either way, it's all right that you can't super chat. We know that's just a luxury, but if you like, comment, subscribe. There you go, David. Way to get that question in. Let's get 2 more questions, and then we'll go. I need 2 more people to bring in with a good hashtag Dolphins question or super chat. LJ Say, a.k.a. Landon. Okay, he fixed the question because I was confused on who you were talking about. Brian Aycock with another 5. I can answer this, yeah. Aycock, appreciate the $5 super chat. Unless I get fired, which I don't see happening. Maybe I'm wrong. I can guarantee that I will be hosting Dolphins Today throughout the 2024 NFL season and hopefully beyond. Hopefully. Listen, there's some things that are out of my control personally, but I am going to show up to work on a personal basis every day and have fun talking some Dolphins football and hanging out with you guys and watching games on Sundays with you guys. And as long as they don't, and I say they, the upper bosses here at Chat Sports, take that privilege away from me, there is no way I'm leaving you right now. No way. No way. I ain't effing leaving. Michael, that's a good question. Michael, you could have turned that into a question. We're going to start the mailbag. You can now send it during the mailbag and still get on. # Dolphins. Michael, I actually like that question because there are some interesting thoughts out there about the two backups for Miami and if there's a better one that the Dolphins could possibly get. David, I also like that. I also like what you're putting out there in the world, too. You know, David's my guy. Chad says Dolphins have the most subs and can't keep a host. Well, we don't have the most subscribers. We have a lot. We're top 10 in the company. But we don't have the most. And to be fair, though, it's not like the bosses has ever, like, took a host away from you. Like, yeah, Chat Sports is not. So when I make the jokes about as long as I don't get taken off Dolphins Today, I'm going to be here, it really is a joke because no one's ever been taken off. Like, they've all left to go pursue different things in their career. I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. So we're gonna be here. I know, David. I did produce for Will. Yeah, Chris, and I am the fourth or fifth host. We had RC, Mitch, Tom, Will, Jake. Well, Tom, could you ever classify Tom as the host? Yeah, but like he was more of a stopgap. Like but they knew that Tom Downey was never the full-time host. Yeah, I don't know. I'm only counting like full-time hosts. I guess, but like I'm just thinking of like this guy's job title is Dolphins Today host. Tom Downey's never was that. Yeah, Chad was Tom was a fill-in. He's a fill-in host. He's a host, but I don't think I would classify him in the same realm as Jake Rietma, Will Scott, and me, right? Yeah, Tom Downey gets worked. Axie says we're getting major flooding down here, sadly. I did see that the weather in South Florida is not great right now. Shout out to Axie, though, for still tuning in and watching. All right, we're about to get into a mailbag here on the channel. 2 more segments to go, mailbag, and then major changes potentially happening to this roster from last season. We'll get into all of it here. If you still haven't, you still can. # Dolphins or Super Chat to get a question on the show. Welcome to Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Happy Father's Day, by the way. And this is a mailbag to celebrate all the dads out there, just like how Tua is the dad of the New England Patriots. First question coming in from Chad Jones. With the tsunami defense and the constant switching players in and out, do you think it will help our defense? Absolutely, Chad. This is a good question. And if you are not aware in what Chad is talking about, Anthony Weaver is the new defensive coordinator in Miami, coming over from Baltimore. I absolutely love him, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job for the Dolphins. But Mike McDaniel mentioned how the defense is just so ever-changing, and they want to really attack the opposing backfields, offensive line with different formations, different players, different looks. And I do really think it will help Miami. And I think you could tell they were heading in this specific direction, Chad, with their decisions during the NFL draft. There were a lot of things that needed to be addressed on this team. Interior offensive line, safety, wide receiver, defensive line. But they decided to go with 2 edge rushers. Chop Robinson in the first, and then a really good value pick in Muhammad Kamara in the 5th round. I think they did that to give Anthony Weaver more ammunition, more ammo in the tank to go after these opposing quarterbacks that they're going to have to really go out and attack, like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. And there's so many guys on this defensive line that can be moved around to get after the quarterback. I think it's going to really help this Dolphins defense and make them one of the best groups in the NFL. Tim B with a $5 super chat. Need to sign GVR. You were referring to Greg Van Roten, the offensive lineman that is still out there, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders. We have talked about him quite a bit on the show. I agree with you, Tim B. I think Miami needs to sign him. It's the one glaring hole on this team. Like, you can talk about secondary defensive linemen, but, like, that's not really that important in terms of a starting right guard. Van Roten's the best man for the job, best player out there. Dolphins have about $9-10 million in cap space, assuming they sign Chop Robinson soon. They need to allot that to Greg Van Roten. I'm with you, Tim B. Make sure you do follow me over on Twitter, because if you're watching this and you weren't with us live but still want to ask me a question surrounding the Miami Dolphins, you can do it over on my Twitter, where you'll find daily Dolphins coverage, Dolphins highlights. My handle is Nic Rohloff, Nic_Rohloff, that is. We're on the road to 1,100 followers. We're 12 away from 1,050. Let's get to 1,100 soon. Charles, will Miami end up extending Jalen Phillips soon? Fascinating question, because Jalen Waddle, who is in the same draft class as Jalen Phillips, already got his extension from the Dolphins a couple weeks ago. They're still in negotiations with Tua Tagovailoa. Javon Holland is entering the final year of his deal. And honestly, like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's kind of my opinion on the matter. I think Jalen Phillips is going to walk in a couple seasons. He's got 2 years left under contract. He's got this season, his 4th year, which is still rookie contract, and the Dolphins already exercised his 5th-year option for the following year. So it's guaranteed to have 2 years in Miami. Now, after those 2 years, I don't know what the situation for Miami will be cap-wise. You could technically franchise Jalen Phillips if you wanted to for a pretty hefty cost and keep him in Miami if you haven't worked out an extension. But to me, with you paying Bradley Chubb $25 million, and maybe you can get out of that contract in a couple seasons when you either pay Phillips and use that money that would have went to Chubb to Jalen to keep the younger guy around long term. Maybe you do that. But with Tua's contract extension, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Javon Holland, Jalen Ramsey, some of these other guys getting paid big money, there's someone that's going to be left out. It's the reason why Christian Wilkins had to leave in free agency. The Dolphins just couldn't afford that contract. I think the same thing might be said for Jalen Phillips in a couple of years. But you let me know, will the Dolphins extend Jalen Phillips? I'd love to extend him. I want to keep him. I'm just being a realist here, and I don't really think it's going to happen. Type E for extend or type W for won't. Brian Aycock with a $10 super chat. If Nick is in, I am in for Chat Sports this year. Badass in 424. Hell yeah, brother. We're going to go on a run this year. Dolphins are winning a playoff game. I'm going to call it the Nic Rohloff luck for the luck boost for Miami. We're going to win the AFC East. We're going to win a playoff game at bare minimum. Let's go on a run and have a good season in 24. Kivo plays. Hashtag Dolphins. Do you think we're going to sign anybody else? We put out a video earlier on the week on 5 free agent targets the Dolphins could sign after they got Marcus Maye in free agency on Monday evening. I do believe Chris Grier is going to add someone to this roster because there's 2 needs. There's the offensive line issue and there's the defensive line. Calais Campbell is still out there. Greg Van Roten, who we already talked about on this mailbag. There are a good enough free agents still available to make it worth signing. Like, if we're in the bum area where none of these guys would be able to come in, start, and contribute, then probably just save the money and use it in case of emergency during the season in a trade or if an injury occurs. But because there are so many guys out there that can contribute to the team, I think it's worth going out to sign someone. So if I had to give my prediction, I think we would sign someone. And if we do make a signing, we will have an update and a video. So make sure you are subscribed on the road to 57,000 subscribers, under 300 away. Don't miss any news or updates, rumors, whatever you want around your Dolphins. Hit that sub button. LJC, do you think Raheem Mostert could get benched near mid-season? Intriguing question. I don't think benched is the right term. When I think of benched, I think of a negative connotation, right? It's like, he is playing bad. He cannot play anymore. We are going to look elsewhere. Do I think there is a realm of possibility that Devon Achane plays so well this year in year 2? Rookie Jalen Wright from Tennessee makes a massive impact in the pass game and with his speed, that Raheem Mostert takes a step back and doesn't get as much carries and as much workload as he did last year? Yes, I do think that's possible. But entering the first week of the NFL season, barring an injury, I think Mostert's going to be your lead back. if I had to break down what I think a timeshare could look like in this backfield, because they're going to use the trio of Wright, Mostert, and HN, I think you're going to see probably 55% of the work go to Mostert, 30% go to HN, and then the remaining 15% go to Jalen Wright. Tim B back again like he never left. What would it take to sign Greg Van Roten and Connor Williams? Well, I do have good news in the Connor Williams department. I think that would be relatively cheap. Like, it'd be like a 1-year, maybe $2 million deal, because he's coming off an ACL injury, and even though he's a really good offensive lineman, he still has to make his way back from an ACL injury, and he's not going to be able to play for at least half of the season in all likelihood. So that would be pretty cheap. Van Roten probably in the same territory, 1 year, $3 million, maybe $4 million if there becomes a big-time market for him. But think about this. Like, Odell Beckham Jr. signed for $3 million. I get he had an incentive-laced contract, but someone of his caliber at a big-time position of needs in around the NFL, only getting $3 million, like, that's probably where you're looking at for these guys. Doubt they would sign both of them, but could they sign one of Connor Williams and Van Roten for 1 year, $2-3 million? Absolutely. Make sure you get this Dolphins t-shirt combo, $25 off, chatsports.com/Dolphins combo. I actually can't wear it because it blends in with our green screen, but the shirt's pretty awesome, man. I got my own. I told you I got mine. Unfortunately, I can't wear it because it does blend in with the green screen, but join me because you don't have to wear it in front of a green screen. Chatsports.com/Dolphins combo, $25 off. David Storm coming in. What do you think Tua is worth? This is a great question because it's not what an extension should be. It's not what it will look like. It's what do you think he is worth? And if you just look off his past injury history and his production, I think he's probably worth like 45 to $48 million. That's probably what he's worth when you look at the market of the NFL quarterback. I think that's very fair, but when you see this extension actually happen and you see him getting paid $53, $54, $55 million per season, it might come as a little bit of a shock, but that's the market, man. Jared Goff said it this offseason with a $52 million extension annually. Trevor Lawrence is going to get one very soon as well. Like, these guys are all getting early 50s, mid 50s, and an annual average salary, even though I think Tua is probably worth 45 to 48. Ryan Aycock with a $5 super chat. We need O-line help first and foremost. Yeah, offensive line help is still probably the biggest thing that Miami needs, and we've mentioned that quite a bit. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Third safety was a big need. They figured that out with Marcus Maye. Defensive line to help Zach Zeeler is up there because I don't know if I trust here Tartan Neville Gallimore, but offensive line is absolutely the biggest need for this Dolphins team, and I think they should go out and sign at least someone. This is a good question. I said earlier that I think the Dolphins will win the AFC East. What do you think? Will Miami win the AFC East in 2024? Will they dethrone Buffalo, who has been having a chokehold on the division the last 3 to 4 seasons? Type Y for yes or type N for no. LJC, do you think Bradley Chubb could get an extension? No. I do not think he could get an extension. He signed a 5-year, $110 million deal with Miami a couple of years ago. Or a year and a half ago, I suppose. But I think if you see, it wouldn't be an extension, but it would be like a reworking, a restructure to free up more cap space. Maybe next year, free up cap space for this season, which could help you extend one of these other guys like Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips, or Tua Tagovailoa. But an extension to add more years onto the deal, that is not going to happen. Ryan. Oh, this is a nice comment. Is this our final comment question? Final one from Jack Ray. Always like ending on a high note. Shout out to Ryan Noto. Appreciate the kind words. My good pals, Will Scott and Jake Rietma, who I still talk to on a daily basis. And I actually went golfing with Jake Rietma the past 2 weekends as well. Hopefully they're all doing good in their endeavors. I know they are, but I appreciate the comment. I'm just trying to fill their large footsteps that were left behind. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter. Like I said, if you didn't get your question on the mailbag or missed the mailbag, you can still ask me anything by following me on Twitter, DMing me. My DMs are open. Or you can just comment under one of my most recent tweets. At Nic_Rohloff's the handle. I'll see you with a video tomorrow. Go Fins. I do owe push-ups. Shout out to Brian Aycock. What a legend he is. What a legend. This is our Super Chat menu for today's live show. Any Super Chat will get on screen. $10 is 5 push-ups, which I'm doing because of Brian Aycock. $20 is a shot of tequila. I got that 1,800 on me. No shots so far. And then $50 Super Chat gets you into the Miami Heat. Christ. Have a habit of it. Miami Dolphins Hall of Fame, as well as the Aqua Club. It's kind of the same. We're merging the two, if you will. And we'll also celebrate by doing a beer bong, too. $50 is that if you want to join the Hall of Fame. But other than that, it's time to do some push-ups. Time to do some push-ups. Oh, brother man. All right, 5 more. Down the hatch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, what exceptional form there. I'm looking at the form right here. Elbows tucked, chest to ground. No back looking up. Oh, look at this. My Miami showing out with the chain coming through. Oh, boy. Chad Jones is killing me. He's clowning me, man. Every time I do push-ups, get off your knees. I ain't on my knees, man. I'm out here working. I'm yoked. Nah, I'm not actually. Trying to be, though. Trying to be. I like to have a good time, man. I like to have a good time with all you guys. I see. Get you a channel that can do it like Dolphins Today. We're giving you push-ups. We're giving you analysis. We're giving you content. We'll give you drinking if you want it. We do it all around here. We are as versatile as it is. Versatility is key, folks. If there is one thing that I would try to tell the young fellas out there, the young people of the world, I don't know if any of you guys are young. I don't know how old you are in the chat. But versatility is key. It applies to sports. It applies to the work. It applies to everything in life. If you can be versatile, you can make good things happen in life. That's what I try to pride myself in, being versatile. Listen, I started off as a producer here at Chat Sports. Now I'm a host. That's what we call versatility, folks. Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife. Well, you got your watch party tonight, so versatility is key. All right.
If anyone wants to watch baseball tonight,
yeah, so
we'll be live.
Come on, give him a plug, Jack. Give me a plug.
All right.
Give me a better plug than that. I need a better plug.
I'm on my way. Oh, Chad Jones.
Oh!
Wait, Chad Jones alert.
Chad Jones is in the building, baby.
Graphics, got to do the graphics.
We know he can strike anytime. Shout out to Chad Jones. $20 super chat. Let it burn.
Well,
let it burn.
If you want to watch some baseball tonight, I, along with Steelers Talk host Jack Sperry, will be live on our Steelers channel, Steelers Talk, doing a Paul Skeens watch party. The Phenom from Pittsburgh is on the mound once again. And I will be live with Jack Sparrow. I'll actually be in front of the camera with a headset, and we'll be breaking it down.
Well, that shot went down. It burned. Chad, if I remember correctly, your favorite. I don't know if this is your favorite or Will just did this, but your favorite liquor, Tennessee whiskey. I assume so, right? I assume. I forget. I assume that's the reason why that song happened. Will Scott had a good voice, man. No? Voice of an angel. Tennessee whiskey, yeah. Let me know if you're of age and you're above the age of 21, let me know your favorite drink down below. Jack says the only thing he'll drink is High Noons, which is better than nothing, I suppose. If I had to go one, Chad, if you had one drink you could only have the rest of your life, what would it be? In terms of alcohol, I'm curious. Eric says shot tequila. I think he might go Tennessee whiskey. I gotta be honest, I don't even know my answer to this, Jack. Like, I'm a Miller Lite guy. I like good beer, but I don't know if I could only have beer the rest of my life.
My whole thing is I don't drink that much at all, as you guys know from last year. I don't really drink at all. So, like, I'll only drink something that, like, tastes good. Because I just don't like the taste of alcohol.
Yeah.
So like, high noons taste good. They're dangerous. You can't drink too many of them. But, like, that's why, like, high noons are, like, the only thing I'll drink. Because they actually taste good.
Yeah, that's so tough. Like, I like Miller Lite, but could I go Miller Lite the rest of my life? Is that the only alcoholic drink? But, like, what's the other choice? Like, what do I go to, like, a tequila soda? Like, that's pretty hardcore for the rest of your life. Right. Like, some of these drinks are you know what the actual answer is? Vodka pineapple. That's the actual answer. That was quite the left turn after what I was just talking about, but I almost forgot. You mix vodka with pineapple juice, it's the most terrific alcoholic drink I think you could have. Found it. It's whenever I go on vacation, it's what I get every time. Every time. All right, let's get into this last segment. Yeah, one more to go, baby. One more to go. A little bit longer show today, but let's have some fun. Talking about some surprise starting lineup changes and what a prediction could be for this upcoming year surrounding the Fins. Welcome to Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Coming up on today's show, some surprising changes happening to the Miami Dolphins starting lineup for the 2024 NFL season. Some key additions to this roster during the offseason, draft, free agency, as well as some key losses that we need to talk about. But before we do that, you want more Miami Dolphins content? Best way to find it, over on our Instagram. Yes, you heard that correctly. At Dolphins Today IG is the handle. We will have you covered with more content in short form, in just Instagram posts, in between each video. At Dolphins Today IG is the handle, so go give us a follow. All right, one thing that is not changing is who your starting quarterback is. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be your starting QB for 2024, regardless of an extension or not. Now, I do believe an extension will happen for Tua prior to training camp getting underway in late July. This is a big year for him, man. 5th year of his rookie deal option this season. If he gets an extension, he has to prove he was worth that extension. If he doesn't get the extension going into the season, he will have to play to earn a larger extension. 3rd year in Mike McDaniel's scheme and offense. I expect a massive year for the lefty for this Miami Dolphins offense. A lot of people are going to want De'Von Achane to be your starting running back, but to me, it's still going to be Raheem Mostert. 18 rushing touchdowns a year ago, nearing the end of his career, 32 years of age. But the good news is that he's had so many injuries and been so a part of many committees in his past that he's probably a young 32 years old in terms of running back age standards. He was phenomenal for the Dolphins a year ago, and I expect him to get the bulk of the carries again. I would probably say 55% of the timeshare would go to Mostert, with the other 45% being divvied up between these two guys, De'Von Achane and Jalen Wright. Achane was terrific for the Dolphins in his rookie season out of Texas A&M, 800 rushing yards, 11 total touchdowns in 11 games. If he's able to stay healthy and play 15+, then he's going to have a large role. But they also did trade a future 3rd-round pick to draft Jalen Wright in the 4th round out of Tennessee. Expect him to get a lot of work in pass protection as well out in the receiving game. These two will be massive for the Dolphins playing out of the slot, out of the backfield in the passing game, which is going to be very, very fun. Speaking of very fun, is your 3 wide receivers. It's going to be Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Odell Beckham Jr. is your top 3. OBJ being the big-time new face of this Dolphins offense. Not many changes on the offense in terms of names in and out, but Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the main ones, pairing up with Waddle and Hill, who is already the best duo in the NFL in terms of wide receivers, but you now get someone who has had tons of success in the past. Also has had a good season last year with Baltimore, putting up over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns in a not really pass-heavy offense as the 3rd option behind Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. I think OBJ is going to be a big-time addition to this roster and give the Dolphins probably another 500, 600 yards, but that's all you're really asking for out of a wide receiver 3. Someone not pictured there, though, but I want to mention, don't sleep on the rookie Malik Washington. Drafted in the 6th round out of Virginia, one of the most productive wide receivers in college football from a year ago, putting up 1,400 yards, having over 100 catches. He was an AP All-American second team. This is a good young receiver that is going to have an impact for Miami. Was graded out as a top 100 guy in many draft experts. Fell all the way down to the 6th round for the Dolphins. Excellent value. I expect him to be that 4th wide receiver for Miami, as well as get some time in the slot. There is going to be some big-time plays happening with this Dolphins wide receiver group. And the Dolphins wide receiver battle will also be very interesting because there's a lot of names in this depth chart and roster, like Eric Ezukama, Braxton Berrios, River Craycraft. Will they make the roster? Taj Washington. Who are the 6? Who are the 5 wide receivers that will be on the 53-man roster? We will have you in the loop on everything happening when training camp rolls around in July, so make sure you're subscribed. Starting at tight end, another newcomer, Jonnu Smith. This one has me very, very excited. I am a big fan of Smith's game. The best yards after catch tight end in the NFL. He was 3rd in yards after catch in 2023, only behind David Njoku and George Kittle. But if you take this time frame all the way back to 2019 and 20, when he was playing with the Patriots and the Tennessee Titans, he would rank number 1. He also has the most yards per catch on the team, 7.1. The next 2 highest, at least from last year, was Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill at 5.8 and 5.5 respectively. Smith is going to have a good impact over the middle of this field. You can also get him the ball on jet sweeps, screen plays. He is one of the most athletic tight ends in the NFL. And a Mike McDaniel offense that has not always featured tight ends, I would expect that to change with Jonnu Smith. I'm very excited to see what he can bring to the table for Miami. This is probably what your starting offensive lineman will look like if I had to project it right now. Armstead and Jackson, no doubt, left tackle, right tackle. Aaron Brewer, who you signed a 3-year deal in free agency with, is going to be your starting center. Isaiah Wynn, assuming he stays healthy, will start at left guard. And Robert Jones is the right guard I'm going to project to start for this Dolphins team. It could be Jack Driscoll. It could be Liam Eichenberg. It could be Lester Cotton. But I will go with Robert Jones to try to replace Robert Hunt, who left for the Panthers in free agency. Now, with that being said, and me projecting Robert Jones, I still hope they sign a right guard. We've talked about it in absolute nauseum over the past week or so, but I want the Dolphins to sign a right guard, whether it be Mark Lewinsky, whether it be Greg Van Roten, whether it be Connor Williams, to stash him for 5 to 7 weeks before coming back from injury, and he be the next starting right guard. Either way, I think adding someone to this roster would be beneficial to help protect Tua Tagovailoa even more, as that is always one of the biggest keys for this Dolphins team. Those were the projected Miami Dolphins starters on offense. 11 names mentioned, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 5 offensive linemen. Actually, technically, I suppose 12 guys mentioned. But either way, grade the Miami Dolphins offense for me down below, A, B, C, D, or F. All right, let's transition to the defense, where Bleacher Report also kind of put out a similar article of projecting the Miami Dolphins starters, and they had this as the projected front 4 for the Dolphins. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb obviously being your 2 edges, Zach Zeeler and Jonathan Harris being your interior defensive lineman duo. And I'm kind of stunned with Bleacher Report projecting Harris, and I put him on here. Probably not my projection, but I was intrigued with why they went with this. Harris is a good, decent depth piece, I guess, but when I'm thinking of who could start on the interior defensive line alongside Zeeler, I'm probably thinking Tua Tagovailoa. I'm probably thinking Neville Gallimore. Maybe we got to keep an eye on Jonathan Harris and what he can bring to the team. It's an interesting pick from Bleacher Report, but I'd probably still put my money on Tua Tagovailoa or Neville Gallimore. Move over to the mid-level section of this defense, where I am very bullish on these 2 guys, the starting linebackers for Miami, David Long Jr. and Jordan Brooks. Obviously, last year, edge/linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel was here, and they also had Jerome Baker. David Long Jr. was on this roster, and I expect him to improve in year 2 in this Miami Dolphins defense. New scheme, new staff, but I do still think year 2 will be able to be more beneficiary. And I got a little bit of a take loading, and I don't even know if this is a hot take, but I think Jordan Brooks is going to be better for Miami than Jerome Baker was. There is a question surrounding Brooks on if he can defend in the pass game because he has a career pass coverage grade of 43.4 according to PFF after playing 4 seasons in Seattle, former first-round pick. But he is one of the best run-stopping linebackers. He had over 100 tackles in the last 3 seasons. He sees the holes open up alongside the offensive line. He accelerates, fills those gaps, and puts a big lick on the running back trying to come through that gap. I'm a big fan of Brooks' ability to stop the run, and if he could give you average pass coverage play as well, alongside David Long Jr., I think you're going to have quite the good linebacking core in Miami. Starting corners, projection is very easy. Jalen Ramsey, CB1, Kendall Fuller, CB2, and then Kader Kohou is going to be your nickel. Fuller and Ramsey are going to be your boundary quarters, while Kohou works in the slot/nickel, obviously. And I think you have one of the best, if not the best, corner duo in the entire NFL. PFF ranked both Ramsey and Fuller as 2 guys in the top 10 of their cornerbacks for the 2024 NFL season. Great starting unit. Really is. Depth is a little bit of a concern. Second-year man Cam Smith out of the South Carolina Gamecocks, who was a second-round pick. He's going to have to play a pivotal role. And he only played 20 defensive snaps last year. Where are the trust on him being able to fill in for Fuller or Ramsey if need be? Now, after signing Marcus Maye, Nick Needham might not have to transfer to safety like he was doing in OTAs and minicamp, so that's another added depth piece on this cornerback room for Miami. Depth is still a little bit of a concern, though. Maybe Saron Neal, who came over from Buffalo, can provide you with some nice things as well. We talked about the safety and Marcus Maye, but he won't be a starter. Those two will be Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer. Poyer replacing, I'm just absolutely drawing a blank right now. I do not know why. Christ. Apologize. I just don't know why I just had a complete mishap here. Either way, Javon Holland and Poyer will be your safety duo. We move on, folks. I really like this duo. I think Poyer and Holland are going to create one of the best duos at safety in the NFL. I think Holland's a top 5 safety in the entire NFL, if you're asking me. Maybe that's biased, maybe it's not. But Poyer will fill in as a nice veteran alongside Holland and be a nice mentor to Patrick Morris as well, who was a 6th-round pick for the Dolphins this past draft. All right, we went through the starting defense now. We asked this question for the offense, but we are going to ask in a different way for the offense or defense. How good is this Dolphins starting defense? Scale it of 1 to 10. No rookie scores. Give me a decimal down below. I'll go 8.1. Make sure you follow me on, or not me, but us on Instagram. At Dolphins Today IG is going to be the handle. Like I said, more content in between each video that we put on the channel. So if you want more and you want more Dolphins coverage, this is the place to find it. Dolphins Today IG is the handle. Go give us a follow. Woo! That's it. We're done. David says 6. You guys are giving me rookie scores. Eric saying 8. Eric Boza saying 8. Bill Lyon saying 8. Woo-wee! All righty. 55 people in the building. As we just wrapped up our 4th segment. Kivo says 7.5. First non-rookie score, at least. Super Chat menu. We'll probably give it 2 minutes or so before we round out today's show. Last week on our live show, we got $105 in Super Chats. We have 50 exactly right now, so we're just under halfway there. Curious to see if we can beat it. Going to take a tall task. Going to take a big one, but let's see if we can beat that $105 from a week ago. If not, all cool. We'll head out on this Tuesday afternoon. Fun stream anyway. Had a lot of fun hanging out with all you guys. And we'll be back again next Tuesday for a live show because we are going to be live for every Tuesday the rest of the offseason, folks. Every Tuesday. How about that? How about that? Give it a minute or two here, see if anything piles in. If not, hopefully everyone has a good rest of the week. Good weekend as well. Eric says, been a Dolphins fan for 53 years. Go Dolphins. That's legendary stuff right there. 53 years. I love that for you. David says, great job, bro, today. Appreciate you, David. Eric says, great show. Appreciate you. Kind words are always appreciated. Very much so. Very much so. And the fact that I know that you guys are appreciating these live shows and what we're doing makes me more excited to come back and provide y'all with content on a daily basis. Just imagine how much fun we're gonna have during the regular season. That's really fun. That's really fun. I can't wait to talk about actual football, actual matchups, break down the game live, react to Tua Tagovailoa 70-yard touchdown passes to Tyreek Hill. Like, it's gonna be quite the time, folks. It's gonna be quite the time. All right, nothing came in, so we're gonna sign off. For Jack Lotteray, I am Nic Rohloff. Appreciate everyone who tuned in throughout today's show. We'll be back again next Tuesday with a weekly live show, so I'll see you then.